Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys. I've never said that I was a boxing expert. Don't claim to be. Never fought professional in my life. But at the same time, I do have experience fighting fisticuffs. Plenty of fights on the streets. But there's a difference between street fighting and professional fighting. It's similarities, but then to a certain degree, it's different because there's rules in professional fighting where street fighting, well, basically to a certain degree, anything goes. It's a one-on-one until somebody decides to jump in. I'm a firm believer in the one-on-one, but at this day and age, that's a distant memory. If it's four of y'all and four of them, even if you ask for one-on-one, if one person starts to get the best of the other, usually then it turns into a battle royal, and then sometimes a battle royal leads into pop, 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 pop. And I'm not talking about popcorn. Hate the fact that exists in this day and age, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, that's the law of the land, or should I say, to a certain degree, that is what you call street politics or politricks. But nevertheless, now that I got that out the way, I really want to speak some truth on what I saw with Jaron Boots Ennis, and it's just time to face reality. And I think Jaron Boots Ennis is a great up-and-coming fighter, but I saw this and I was like, not so fast. And after last night, I saw a lot of people jaw drop, and I saw a lot of people who was basically disappointed, and they don't want to admit it because at the end of the day, another scenario got debunked, another theory got debunked, and a lot of fake content creators' narrative got temporarily destroyed. And I want to say this about Boots. Boots is a great fighter, but he's only 24, 25 years old, and you got to give an honest assessment. I don't think at this point in his career, I don't think he's ready for Errol Spence. He's not ready for Terrence Crawford, and I don't even think at this point he's ready for Keith Thurman. And I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm about to stop selling Keith Thurman short because Keith Thurman is a multi-belt former champion. Keith Thurman in his heyday, he was one of the best out there. And that's real talk. He suffered injuries. He ain't been the same, due to all the injuries, but I'm just keeping it 100. I look at Boots, and it makes you wonder how Boots would have did against people like Sean Porter. I think Sean Porter would have gave Boots a hell of a fight. I think that fight would have definitely been up in the air who would have won that fight, because I just saw a lot of flaws, and I was critiquing it with some other people, and we came to the realization, which I already saw this anyway. I just saw a lot of flaws exposed, and then I was listening to some close by his father saying that they didn't watch tape of this dude, and basically they figure it out as they go along. See, that's what you call the too cool for school. I'm gonna tell you where everybody got that from. Everybody started to get a lot of things and mimic stuff that they heard from Floyd about, I don't want people filming me sparring. I don't watch film. I just figure it out when I'm in the ring and all that kind of stuff. Listen, man, at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff be cap. It just sound good. It gives us media and content creators stuff to talk about. But I do not believe that when a fighter has a fight coming up that he doesn't watch some kind of footage. And if that's the case, and if Jaron Boots Ennis and his father didn't watch a film of this dude, that really hurt them, and that set them back. Because the way Boots was fighting, I'm going to keep it 100. And it just got to be said. Had the dude been a little more fluent, the Karen dude, Had he been a little more fluent and let his hands go a little bit more and had been a better boxer instead of a better defensive fighter, Boots might have would have found himself in a lot of trouble. He won, but then it wasn't a great win. And this is what happens when you build up these type of dudes and you put them on a high pedestal when they ain't really fought nobody of high caliber. They fought decent people with decent names, but I mean, let's just keep it a buck. The people that he had fought, they had already kind of like were past their prime and they were past their peak. And I think it was a decent measuring stick, but to say that this dude was ready for the big guns, that was a disrespect to both Spence and Crawford. And I'm just saying this about Boots, and I'm not knocking him. I'm not trying to, and I'm not hating nobody from Philly, so don't twist, because you know how you have these content creators that'll take your words and twist it. Has nothing to do with him being from Philly. I'm just keeping it a buck. He really struggled in that fight. He struggled with mobility, punch placement. He got turned a couple of times. He got hit with counters. Like I said, somebody, and I'm just keeping it a buck, somebody like Bud hit him with some of the punches that he got hit with. And we know Bud got power. Ennis would have been in deep trouble. And I think he needs to continue to, I know he has 30 fights in, but I think at the end of the day, he's still growing. I know he got 30 fights in, but at the same time, I think this was like his first time going past 6 rounds. I think they need to find him some, once again, it's levels to this boxing stuff. And as far as the eye test go, yeah, he looked pretty good until last night. It's just like school. Once a semester starts, you can build a lot of momentum. You turn it in your homework. You turn it in your essays. You start off with a lot of momentum, but then sometimes you get a little lackadaisical. You get sometimes bored, and then sometimes you start to slack. And I think that's what happened with him. But I know it was a lot of people that, who was trying to match make, because at the end of the day, I got to get on you guys too. It's funny how a lot of y'all was demanded that Bud fight him. And if Bud didn't fight him, he was ducking, because here's the thing. He's the mandatory for Errol Spence's IBF. And the Bud haters and the Bud matchmakers, they changed their whole tune. The air got sucked out of their, they content creator cloud, because they was like, yeah, he's not ready. And I enjoyed every moment of it, because I thought it was funny. But like I said before, Boots is a sensational fighter. He could be a superstar, but it's not his time yet. It's not his time. I seen him struggle a lot in that fight. And I don't want to say exposed, but you did see a lot of his lack of experience show in that fight. And that's just basically it. And I don't want people to take this personal. I hope Boots do not take this personal. And to his pops, do not take this personal. This is just this is a assessment. I'm just, I'm just giving, this is what I do. I'm just giving you my assessment, and I'm just critiquing. So please do not take this personal. I'm just keeping it a buck. But that's all I have to say. Boots needs more work. He's definitely not ready for Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, or Terrence Crawford. And I'm just keeping it a buck. That's just real talk. Anyway, this your boy Town Biz. I'm out.